Yo, what's up, everybody?
Hello, everybody.
Did anybody miss me from last week?
No.
Oh, really?
No, I did. I actually heard it was a pretty damn good show. So maybe I should maybe I should skip most of the time.
You can't get out that easy, buddy.
Yeah, no.
Oh, shoot. We got some cool people in there. I saw Mark, Brooklyn Treasure Hunter, Liz was in there, Ezra was in there. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
What's going on?
Awesome.
Nothing much?
Nothing at all. No.
I told everybody that you guys took over last week, but you're taking over this week. Who wants to introduce our very, very special guest? Joe, you want to do it?
Yeah, it's Eric's guest. I think Eric needs to do
Oh,
it.
Eric, there you go.
The legwork. He begged and pleaded for Pete to come on, so.
And Pete just kept saying, no way, man, and he's here. So
we all shot it down. I just want to say that.
This week we have Digstock organizer Peter Sorrell. Is that how you pronounce your name?
That is, yep, that's it.
All right.
Oh, nailed the pronunciation right off the bat. I mean, come on.
Better than I would have done anyway, so thanks, Eric. How's it going?
It's going good. I see you guys, most of you guys are kind of in the same tri-state area as me, so you know how fun it's been in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Well, where are you at?
I live in upstate New York, so
do
if
you?
go if you drive several hours north, get to Albany, and then drive several hours more, I'm at the very top of the state.
Mike is very familiar with that.
Yeah, I
area.
used to cover that area for work just up until about a month ago. I was up in the Plattsburgh area up that way.
Yep, that's right where I am.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a haul. It's a haul, but it's a nice drive. It's a therapeutic
certainly is.
drive at that point. I always make a stop at what's it called, at the Olympic Village. That's always a fun stop on the way. But now I got South Jersey. I'm a lot closer.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, yeah, I don't even know if I should be on a metal detecting show anymore because I haven't found anything in probably 3 months. So I don't even know if I qualify. Does that mean I don't qualify anymore, chat? Do I not qualify to be on a metal detecting show if I haven't found anything in 3 months?
I mean, I think that's a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah, but I like to cry about it a little bit. Eric, how has your hunting been?
2 weeks ago I went out. Found a lot of bullets, and that's about it for me. My brother found a largie. That'd be number 30 from the site.
Number 30.
I've been out a couple of times. I've got some cool stuff, but it depends on the day. You know, some weekends you go out and you get a lot of stuff, and then some weekends you get out and you don't get jack crap. So then,
Oh yeah,
that's
You'll
how
probably
metal
get-
detecting is.
You're probably getting snow up that way on Friday, I believe.
We got snow yesterday, actually, at my
Oh,
house.
there you go. What I figured.
Dun, dun, dun. The dreaded S word of metal detecting.
Yeah, I live in the Adirondacks, so we get it before anybody else. So as long as you're outside there, you're fine.
So how much longer of a season do you have then up there? Obviously, it's
Boy,
dwindling days.
really, it's a crapshoot. Some years we get like into mid-November, and then some years mid-October it ends. Really, once the ground freezes, then we're out of luck. But after, you know, I went out on Monday. It was 32 degrees. No problem. I'll go out in that all day long.
yeah, that's actually nice.
And I'm fine.
Yeah. As long as that ground's not too hard.
No, exactly. A lot of our fields are, they got off the crops probably a couple weeks ago, so they're nice and soft and perfect.
Yeah, that's We're just having our farms are just getting turned over now, and it's been a long wait, a long summer, a hot summer, but we're ready to get back at it,
For sure. Yeah, we had
Oh,
one
you're
guy.
muted.
Huh?
Sorry. Trey's muted. He was talking. There we go.
There you go.
Hey,
Trey.
buddy.
I'm a bit rusty. What can
Dang,
you
I
say?
remember my first show. Sorry,
Yeah.
Pete, didn't mean to interrupt. Just wanted to head that off before it went too long.
You could have just let it happen.
Yeah, we just got the soybeans were off 2 weeks ago, and then there's still a couple of cornfields. Some of our farmers wait till like mid-November to get it really dry.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of fields that I'm really itching to get on. One's got War of 1812 British camp on it.
Wow.
We got one that's got a couple of colonial-ish home sites on it. So we're waiting on those, but it takes a little bit of time. Y'all know how it is.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're still waiting for our honey hole to open back up.
Yeah.
So, we know it.
Chomping
We
at
feel
the
your
bit.
pain. So.
Now, what's crazy to me is like how far up you are and how many awesome colonial sites there really are and battle sites and how much of a hike that must have been. Obviously, people coming in from like the lower portion of New York and working their way up. I guess, coming through Canada as well. But like, man, what a trip. It's a trip in a car at this point in time. Right.
Yeah. And you know what the sites look like. I mean, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of folks that detect up here. Well, I say a lot, but most of them are like park hunters and beach hunters.
Yeah.
They don't do the research or the time or the, to find the really, really good sites. So honestly, like, I wouldn't say I have them to myself, but I'm a lot more, there's a lot more of those sites out there to be found.
Yeah.
And there's only like 1 or 2 or 3 of us up here that kind of hunt together that really put in the work to find them. So when I get the stuff that I do, Fujios and state coppers and whatever, and War of 1812 stuff, you just gotta, you gotta put in the research. If you don't put in the research, you're just gonna be digging quarters and dimes and nickels in a park and go for it. Have at it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But the legwork is really what makes it pay off at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah. And, and honestly, like I said, it's for us, man, I started out, I did sell well in New York State on state land, which you're not supposed to do. But when you first get out there, you don't know the rules. You just go. You just basically, I started doing research, finding old roads and stuff through the state land, and that's what I did. But eventually you're like, oh crap, I'm not supposed to be here.
No harm, no foul, right?
Yeah. And then, right, out of all the rusty nails and bottle caps that I dug out of there, I'm sure the state is fine with that. I'll let them, here, I'll give it back if you want it, but if not.
Yeah, exactly. Now, did you have any run-ins with the law back in the day when you were doing those lands or no?
I never did. It's funny because when I started, I was in college and I had a Garrett Ace 250, venerable banana yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Can't notice that detector.
Yeah, and then so I went with a couple of guys showed me the ropes and stuff, and they had like one had an E-track, stuff like that, that I would never even be able to compete with. I was digging the nails and he was digging the point. So basically, I never had a run-in with anybody, but I had a lot of friends in the DEC, the Department of Environmental Conservation, got a lot of forest ranger buddies, so
yeah.
We really didn't have an issue. Sometimes they
That's
just
a good connect to
point me in
have.
the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good connections to have. I know down here it's it from county to county it varies, and we always get real iffy about the public lands that we hunt. Even the regular parks, we're always worried about someone saying something or the police approaching us. When in all reality, I doubt. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that because there are some consequences that come with certain areas, but I don't know. Yeah.
We've had, I've had run-ins with cops before, like on public property, but usually, it's like they come up and they say, somebody called us, wondering what you're doing. And then I show them exactly what I'm doing. And I'm like, listen, I said, if you, and one, I actually had a bet with the cop. I said, if you can find 5 of my holes out here, I said, I'll leave today. And I said, well, you probably only dug 4 of them. And I said, no. I said, I've been out here a couple hours. I said, there's probably 20 or 30 of them. I said, if you can find 5 of them, I was like, I'll take off. And he like looked around for a few minutes. He's like, nah. He's like, you're not doing anything wrong. He's like, you're keeping it clean. He's like, have at it. He's like, enjoy your day. So
love it. And those are the kind of people you like to, run into.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, but man, I've had other officers, they come up to me, as long as you're respectful, you just tell them what you're doing. And I said, a lot of times I'll be like, well, I checked the local regulations. There's nothing in the, town laws or city laws or whatever that's saying I can't be here. And they're like, nope, you're right. There isn't. So, just keep it clean and have fun. So that's, for the most part, like I said, a lot of it has to do with respect. I know there's some guys out there that would just flip out and just, turn it on. And, that's the reason you get kicked out. So.
Exactly. You just got to, represent yourself in the hobby as best as you can at that point. And, ultimately, if they say go, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, and I've had the same thing, if they're like, well, we just appreciate it if you leave. Okay, no problem. I got other places.
All right.
Now, up in the Adirondacks, do you do a lot of woods hunting too? Or is that a lot of field stuff?
Yeah, no, there is a lot of woods stuff. So I live right in the Adirondacks. Some of it you really gotta hike to. I mean, it's no different than a cellar hole in Connecticut or Massachusetts or whatever. I've been on those sites too, where you're walking 6 or 7 miles just to get to a site, and hoping to God that it's not pounded.
Right.
But here we're kind of, if there are people here detecting, they're in the more populous places. They're not out in the wilderness, kind of like what we do. I mean, we do go to the populated areas where we're going to have our Digstock big event next fall. That's going to be in a, not like a super populated town, but there's quite a few people around there. So, a couple thousand. But for the most part, you get back in the woods, you're the only person there for, 20 or 30 miles sometimes.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a bad place to twist your ankle.
I always tell my wife, okay, this is the approximate location I'm going to be in. I can't be 100%, but that's what that's what I usually tell them.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a safety plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it looks like Andy's pulling up some of the information on your Digstock page.
Yep.
Kind of give us a little bit of the lowdown of just Digstock, how it started, and then what you guys got planned for the future for the people.
Yeah, sure. So last year I was part of the Pound the Ground team with Rhode Island Relics. We just decided to part ways after that event. A couple of the manufacturers said they'd really like to see another event like this. They just wanted to see a different direction. And so I thought about it. It was a lot of work. We put a lot of work into that. It turned out, pretty good. We had a great turnout. We really enjoyed it. But I had to think about it long and hard because, most of us have full-time jobs, and we're just trying to, dig and, do you really want to make your hobby a job? And, and it's, so one of the big things I really liked was meeting everybody. And personally, that's what I enjoy doing these big events for, is meet new people. Everybody can find a great find, but the great friends you make are, it sounds corny as hell, but it's really true. The friends you make are really what's worth it. So we tried to do something a little different. I got a new team of guys that are working with me. I've got one gentleman who's been detecting for 20 years. He's a Massachusetts. He's originally from Massachusetts. He lives in New York now. He's a CFO of a company, manages all our finances. And then my business partner, Matt Jones, he is from North Carolina. He's been a part of events in the past. He used to run his own event in the South too. Cool. So the three of us are the core folks that run Digstock, and then we've got a great support team, including most of our wives and a couple of our friends and stuff that help put the events on. So and family too. So they kind of come in and do that. So anyways, our whole point for Digstock was to do something a little bit different. Everybody's been to a hunt where you just go and you dig, and that's the main thing. So we wanted to try something a little bit different by including, 2 other hobbies that kind of intersect with ours, which is bottle digging. There's a lot of folks out there that love bottle digging, but they're not always able to get on like historic properties like like the stuff that we're getting on. So we figured, why not invite those folks along to be a part of this? So our motto is for all the hobbies you dig. So basically, we try to do that. And then we also included magnet fishing into it. So both of the properties that we have this year have a very historic rivers that run through them. And folks are able to come in. I don't know what you're going to find in there. I have no idea, but if that's what you're into, we want you to at least have the opportunity to do it. So if you're not finding anything metal detecting or bottle digging, you can try one of the other things while you're there. So we get from all of our landowners to basically let folks, once they sign that liability waiver, to have free reign of it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Mike, you got to bring up your rig, man.
Yeah, I always forget my magnet whenever we go out, and I'm so focused on detecting. And we've used it once, and I'm really upset about it. And actually, I meant to text Trey today. They're lowering the lake right by my house as of a week from now. So I figured that'd be a good time to get the magnet out there so we can pull up there. But I'm definitely gonna bring it to Digstock.
Yeah. So we got so there's a big river that goes through called it's either the Little Shazy River. It goes through the property, and then just adjacent to it is the Great Shazy River. And both were navigable waterways up from the 1700s up. War of 18 troops kind of traversed them, get into different places. And our property in upstate New York, the one for next fall, that one is right on Lake Champlain, which was first explored in the 1600s, 1609, I think. So, I mean, there was a lot of, contact between the Native Americans and Englishmen, Frenchmen, whatever, all through that time period. There was the British on their way down to Saratoga, Battle of Saratoga during the Rev War. They camped right in that area, not on our property, but in the area. We know they sent scouting parties out to kind of take an eye, get an eye on stuff, because we actually had a couple of really Rev War British era stuff come up on our site. So we know that they were out there camping and kind of looking around, so in our area.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about some of these hunts that, are put on like that. And that's what allures a lot of the people, is like that chance to find something that you may, we have we're lucky we have the opportunity to maybe stumble upon something like that. But for something with such rich history like that, for a lot of people, you don't get that in your normal everyday metal detecting. So a lot of people are looking for.
I think that's why we get so many people from out of state.
Yeah.
They're trying to, just the opportunity, and we tell people, we've made it a point of being for Digstock events, basically, that we're not going to do all these crazy gimmicks, or we're going to put $85 billion in the ground. We don't care. We're not about that flashy baloney. Yeah. If you're coming to our events, there's a reason you're coming. You want to meet some new friends. You want to do some stuff. We're going to have our big events. Going to have a huge big top tent. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have the major manufacturers kind of showing off their stuff. We're going to have a spot for the kids, just a lot of more family friendly things. And that's our more accessible hunt, which is the one next fall. That's just the regular Digstock. We're going to do that every 2 years, because a property that big and that full of history, you got to work on to get those properties. They don't just come around every day. So to kind of get us through that, that's what these Digstock mini hunts are for. And so our first one is in March 7th through, wait, give me a second. Let me get the dates on that, just so I don't screw it up.
You don't want people showing up on the wrong day, Pete.
Yeah, exactly. Because we just want to make sure that everybody has a good time. But at the same time, we wanted to do a couple of different events. Okay, 5th through 7th. I almost said 7th through 9th. It's 5th through 7th, 2021, March. It's in near Greenville, North Carolina. We've got 2,200 acres. We're only putting it out for 275 people. of which 75 plus people have already bought their tickets. So we're under 200 tickets, just so everybody knows. And we really think this event is going to sell out. So it's $225 a person. I know it sounds expensive, but I'll be honest with you, this is one of the craziest sites I've ever been on, as far as a test dig that we did. So if anybody wants to know how we do that, how we find a site and how we, deem if it's worthy of even going and doing a dig on, that's how we do it. We do a test dig. Now, when we do a test dig is we find the property, we ask the property owner, say, hey, would this be okay? They say, yep. So we get out there and, 3, 4, 5 of us with a metal detector, all working for the Digstock team. So we know who they are. And then basically what we do is we go digging. We dig every target we can while we're out there and cover as much of the property as we can in a short amount of time to just kind of gauge, and then what we do is we extrapolate that number of targets that we dug to the entire property. And, and that's how we determine how many people we can fit on it. So I can just tell you right now that the site we're on, there's colonial, there's 1600s home sites, there's 40 home sites that date prior to 1905. There's a colonial boat, or a colonial river landing on it. There's a Native American village, a couple of bottle dumps.
Wow.
It's loaded with stuff, loaded.
Crazy.
And so when we do our test digs, basically we dig every target we can, we put them right back. We just see what it is, drop it back in the ground just to kind of get
cool.
what we're doing.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that hunt here in March, none of that is planted. It's all, everything you find is natural, 100%. And then our fall hunt, which is more family friendly, more accessible to most folks. The price of the ticket is a little bit cheaper. That one, we do have a seated hunt, and we're actually I've talked to Eric about this crazy idea we have for the seated hunt. That's a little bit different than what everybody's used to. We're going to put up a poll here shortly to see what people think, but maybe if you guys are interested, I can kind of tell you what our idea is and see what you guys think too.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of folks watching, so
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, might as
all
well.
right. So our idea is we were going to use it. We're still going to have the same amount of coins and prize tokens and any prizes that the manufacturers give away. So what our idea was, so a normal seated hunt, everybody knows, is they give you a designated field. You put all that stuff out there. You say go, and then everybody, it's a free for all, right? Okay, within a couple of hours, that thing is depleted, done, gone. That's it, for the most part. So what we were thinking was to get to kind of like lessen scouting and kind of get more folks to enjoy it. What we're thinking is doing it over the 2 days, but instead of doing a free for all that first day, it would be okay. So from 2 to 5, you get 3 hours. You can go in the designated seated field. We're gonna have a whole bunch of relics, coins, prize tokens out there. Okay, you get the 3 hours. After that 3 hours, we cut everybody off. Okay, off those fields. Then Sunday it opens back up, but on Sunday it's open the whole day. You can go in there and you can dig all day. But the kicker is Saturday night, after everybody's gone in there for a couple hours, we're gonna put more stuff out there. So we're gonna reseed more prizes in there the night after the first night.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, I would specifically make sure you reseed stuff in other plugs just to reinforce, to make sure you
always check your plugs,
every
right?
plug.
That's
You're
right.
doing the community a favor by reinforcing those rules.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, and then we had a lot of so when after Pound the Ground last year, I took a notebook basically getting input on what everybody wanted, what worked, what didn't work, that kind of thing. And that's where we started with the basis for Digstock. We basically got a lot of those things that people had issues with, and we said, we can fix that. We can fix that, and we basically went through and that's where we started. We got everybody's input, and we've still been asking input. If anybody has any ideas or questions or comments, feel free to get in touch with us because we're always trying to improve the events. These are for you guys. These are for the, the everyday detectorist that just wants to go out and try something new. This is for you guys. So that's why we do it. That's why we're doing it. So one of the cool things is last year all we had was coins, and this year we're going to try something different. We're going to throw relics in there as well. Civil War relics, War of 1812 relics. You know, there's going to be prize tokens for like really nice relics, machines. You know, dude, I can just tell you this, it's going to be crazy. You know, and it's going to be over a bigger area too. So not everybody's going to be right on top of each other. There's going to be more spaced out. And obviously these are going to be in fields that are normally farmed. So there could be natural finds out there as well that we don't even know about. So you might get on something really good out in those fields as well.
Now, I've never done a seeded hunt. How do you keep track of everything?
So that's the fun of it, or the not fun of it. I don't know how you want to say it. So basically, the most expensive prizes that we give away, usually what we'll do is we'll put a token out there. Last year we put we had gold nuggets, and we literally put them out there. But we GPSed each of them so we knew where they were.
That's cool.
That's brave.
I think this way with the tokens, if it doesn't get found, we can just give it away in the normal raffles or whatever it may be. But we're really gonna try and give away some crazy prizes, and these big hunts, like any hunt you go to, there's never a guarantee. There's never a guarantee when we go out. You're like, oh, this place is gonna be awesome, and then you get there and you get 3 pull tabs and a memorial penny.
So true.
You know how it is. It's nothing new here for us detectorists. We know how it goes. So we want to make sure that the expectations are real. But with having the seeded hunt, it kind of gives folks who are not maybe finding a whole lot of stuff out in the natural field an actual chance to find something really cool, whether it be a 160, 70-year-old Civil War bullet, or it's a 200-year-old War of 1812 button, or whatever it may be. So we're gonna try and really do it all, I guess, in the seeded hunt. So I think folks are gonna really enjoy that.
I think that's awesome.
Super cool. Hi, Ray. And I saw Charlie hop in there too. I don't think I said hi to Nancy earlier, so hi, Nancy. Who else is in here that we missed? Yeah, Ezra was in there. Michael Keene. Hey, what's up, Michael? So, gotta catch everybody up. But yeah, that's exciting. That's a lot. And not what you usually expect. I mean, most of these times that I see like a seeded hunt like that or anything along those lines, it's basically, your regular silver coins or dimes or quarters or whatever it may be. But you don't really see relics thrown in there very often.
We got the idea from Garrett does a hunt every year, and their Charles Garrett Memorial Hunt. And I was talking to their director down there, and he basically said that that's what they do. They buy thousands and thousands of relics and put them in the field as well, along with prize tokens and everything. And I said, man, that's a killer idea, because a lot of the folks that will be coming out here, I mean, even so last year we had people from, I don't know, it was 30 plus states. Right now for the spring mini hunt that we've already got people from at least 15 states coming up. And that's only going to grow the more we talk about it and more people see it. But they don't have, a lot of these folks, especially out west, don't have the opportunity to dig any of these things. And they may never have the opportunity to dig these things in real life. So they may never go to one of our mini hunts that's actually on historic property. But if they still want to dig something that's kind of cool that they might not have or get a chance to find, yes, it's a planted find, but still it's a, whatever, it's a war bullet, it's really awesome. You know where it came from, you know what it was from, that kind of stuff. So I dig it. I think it's a really neat thing to do. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of seeded hunts, but we're trying to make it so, it appeals to a lot more people.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think sorry, Trey.
No, Digologist says missed what days they were. You said the first one was March 5th?
5th through 7th.
Yeah.
5th through 7th, 2020-21. Oh my God. 2021, March 2021, March 5th through 7th, 2021. And the other one is, give me 1 second, and I'm going to look at the dates because I cannot remember them for the life of me. The next one, the one in October, is a 4-day, is technically a 3-day hunt with a meet and greet on Friday. So that one is going to be 7th, 8th, 9th. No, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th
Perfect. Awesome.
of October. Yeah.
Write those down, Digologist. Write those down.
8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Yeah. So we what we did was the first year we had our event, they had a wet spring, and we got kind of caught up. The farmer wasn't able to get all the crops off all the fields that we had promised. So, there's nothing we could do at the time, but the farmer was kind enough to keep going. Literally, the detectors were right behind him as he was going, trying to dig stuff up as he went. And I was like, you guys gotta just give him his due. So what we did was we pushed it back one weekend, and then actually falls on Columbus Day weekend. So I know a lot of folks from out of state have Columbus Day off. So there's a 3rd day. So our first 2 days are going to be the main event. You get the big top tent, the vendors, all that cool stuff. And then the 3rd day is just an all natural hunt. Anybody that wants to stay the extra day and just really explore the outreaches of the property, that's basically what that day is for. And that's all included in your ticket. They're $145. We're not selling them right now because we're waiting until March. Once this first event sells out, then we're going to start reselling tickets for that event. And we've already got 270 or so people signed up for that one with a cap limit of 1,000 folks. So I don't know if we'll get there, but I know we had about 800 or so last year.
That's all. And it's really cool because even the hunt in North Carolina, right, the smaller one, that's something, either of the two hunts, right? Whether you don't like to door knock, or you're maybe you're into or maybe you've just got kids you need to get somewhere, but it's just such a great opportunity. Even for us, like, we've never hunted very far down south at all, and like I don't have any random people who are just like sitting on colonial farms in the Carolinas, so I mean, it's just a great opportunity overall to just get through a different barrier. And I always travel, and I'm like, dang, I wish I knew someone over here that I could hit up. And obviously we have a pretty big community, but these events, from a networking perspective, they're great. But on top of that too, it's just getting access, like you said, for every kind of person who wants to get out.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, everybody thinks it's just, these events are, there's a lot of work that goes into them. I'm on the phone a lot, making reservations for things, and making sure all the funds go here or there, wherever they got to go. And it's a lot of work. We put a lot of work into these things, and I hope it shows when you guys come out. Whenever whoever comes out to these events, I hope we're doing it for you. We're doing it for the average everyday detectorist. These smaller events are more catered to I would say experienced detectorists, who are just kind of getting out there and digging whatever. We provide a map and everything, but really you're just going to go out there and dig. There's no special treatment or anything. You just go out and have fun. Our big event is more family friendly. This thing is kind of more, but anybody's welcome. We literally said, if you want to come out, there's going to be, 274 other people that'll be your closest and best friends if you want them to be. So, come out, enjoy yourself, get out there, dig some treasures, and I know some treasures are going to be dug. There's a couple of things out there that I think are going to excite people. And we know there's colonial out there. There's a rumored Rev War camp on that site. We weren't able to locate it in our short amount of time, but we literally have not been on the site since that day, months and months ago. So our contract's been signed. The farmer's been paid. We're just ready to go. We just can't wait till March. So.
Awesome.
That's so cool. Honestly, the most self-control I've ever seen from anyone, being able to, light check and not be able to just be like, all right, there's my fines. I don't know. That's amazing.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. Like I said, this is for everybody. Like I said, a lot of the folks, actually, I mean, I get emails every day from people who want to come out, and then they ask all these questions. And that was one thing we did different than a lot of other hunts. I know it sounds silly and kind of, we created a really good website. So it took me 2 months. I created a really good website. Basically anything you need to know about the hunt, the site, the property, the history of the property, what it costs, all of that information can be found right on our website. So if you want to know what it is, it's a one-stop shop. You can buy your t-shirts and everything right on the site. We'll give those to you at the event. And I mean, it's just, we did that a lot. So it made it a lot simpler. There's many event I went to and I did not either know what was going on or I didn't get any information from the organizers. So we tried to make it different. There's literally a list of all the local hotels, places to eat, stuff like that. Crazy little things, how to get there. I mean, really, we just tried to make it as easy as possible.
The site is phenomenal. I mean, arguably too much information out there. I was hyped so much, before I had to.
Buddy of mine, you didn't even have our detectors. I was just taking a
Hey,
walk,
boys.
kind of just surveying the property, the outer bounds. And we came across the site. I looked down, I'm always looking like most of us, I always looking at the ground. And I was like, that looks like a musket ball. And I picked it up and I said, that looks like another one over there. And just started picking stuff up off the surface, buttons and musket balls. And if they're there, they were camped there for at least a day or two. That's a lot of stuff. And I mean, I can't tell you how big it is because I really don't know. We were just kind of walking around it. There's probably 3 times as much stuff under the ground as it was on the surface. So,
Ezra asked, is Pete going to be sending out new patches and stickers for those who bought tickets to the fall event that got rescheduled? Are you gonna send
so
out?
the patches were only for folks that bought an early bird ticket. If you bought an early bird ticket, you got a patch. If you didn't get an early bird ticket, you didn't get a patch. I do have a bunch of leftover ones from that say 2020. But if somebody really, really wants one of those collector items,
They'll be worth money.
I'm gonna get mine autographed, honestly, when I roll up here.
I probably have 15 or 20 of them left over. So if you want one, just shoot me a message. I'll send you one out. So we've got this, we've got a bunch of cool little things that are going to be exclusive to our event, and we hope everybody enjoys them.
That's good.
I think it's going to be great. I'm so excited. And the North Carolina hunt sounds so good too. I'm going to have to definitely pull some strings and see.
Look, Andy over here, if you're looking over in Andy's little feed here,
Yeah.
showing some of the finds that were made at the last event. I mean, look at artillery button, reals. I can see a Rev War button. I mean, I see there's a piece of gold, a couple pieces of gold. There was some belt plates dug, British and American.
Incredible.
You name it, it came up. I wasn't surprised because it was such a big site. Even when I detected it, I'm like, oh my God. I would never have guessed the amount of finds that are out there. And every year it's plowed. So you know how it is. Every year it's plowed, something new comes up.
Brand new being.
Yep, exactly. So he does a really good form of deep plowing too. So 12 to 16 inches.
What more could you ask for? I mean, that's, the
Great
best.
farmer. Yeah, he was a cool guy. He's a really cool guy. And I'm sure you'll see him out there at the big event. He was out there last year on his gator, rode up, got some beer and some food with his kids. And, so he was enjoying himself too. So it was fun. And that's what all we can hope for is really good homeowners or landowners to help us put these things on. So
now, I obviously don't give away the secrets of the trade of getting these massive farms, but do you have to go through a lot of permissions before you get a yes, or has it been easier path than you anticipated, especially for now 2 events at that?
Not really. So last year they just came. I'm a perennial permission getter. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've got a whole spiel. My grandparents owned a farm, so I can relate to these guys. I just talk about our farming heritage, in general, all together, and tell them what I do and what I'm interested in doing. And a lot of times, this guy's like, oh yeah, I own 3,000 acres and you have access to any of it anytime you want. Okay, fantastic. And so what happened last year was they were looking for a site for the Pound the Ground event. And I'd never met the guy that was running it or anything in my life before that point. And he said, do you have any permissions that are, really large? And I said, I've got 3 or 4 of them that are 1,000 acres or more. And he's like, well, do you think anybody'd be interested in putting on a hunt? And I said, well, I can certainly check it out. And I had one farmer in mind, which was the property that we used, and yeah, it turned out to be great. And it helps when you throw money at them too a little bit. Everybody's okay with that. So actually, the North Carolina hunt, we know for a fact, and that's the one we hope to see a lot of folks there because that one's going to be special. But I know the one in fall is going to be special too, but this one's going to be. I think this one's gonna be pretty epic. But anyways,
you're excited, man.
Man, I am. I can't wait. I can't wait till March. But anyways, the landowner there had literally when Matt, my business partner, went up there and asked about it. He goes, he's had several detectorists asked to go there in the last couple of months. So, and he says, and that's been that way for the last 20 years or 30 years or whatever it may be that people have been asking. And this guy and his family have owned it for 200 years. So he said he has never allowed anybody on the property except for, hunters. They lease the property to do their hunting in the woods, but that's it. So nobody's ever been on these fields unless they got out there and did it illegally, which everybody knows there are those people out there, but. From what we found in our test hunt, I can tell you that if they did, they weren't there very long.
Yeah.
That's exciting, man. That sounds like such a promising permission. Just to know have the confidence that there's stuff in there that I know Trey and Joe and everyone, we talk about like all these potential permissions and the what ifs, and it's that satisfaction of having a peek behind the curtain there to say, okay, there is the what ifs are a reality at this point.
Yeah, you don't get that opportunity very often, and even our partners, they're like, we get to dig too, right? And I was like, no, you guys, was like running this thing. He's like, yeah, but if there's downtime, why can't I just go take a look? Well, I guess maybe.
Just get a quick outfit change, good to go.
Right, exactly. We're gonna be all wearing these really bright lime green. You won't be able to miss us. So,
Well, Paul just hopped in. King was in here too. Hi guys.
What's up, Ken?
Paul? What's up, Ken?
Dang.
Pete, I got a real quick question. Sorry, guy behind the guys can't see me, but
Jordan.
what?
That's all right, Andy. What's up?
What's the ratio you guys are you allow yourself to spend on gaining the permission for the hunt? Like where do you draw the line on how much you take in and how much you spend on the property?
Oh boy, I don't even know if there is a line. If we think the property is worth it, we'll spend whatever we need to get it. That and realistically going forward, if you see the prices we're charging for our tickets, realistically that's not going to change. Every event is different. I can tell you, would be come next October, that'll be my third one that I've run, and I've done a lot of different event planning with other folks that aren't in the metal detecting industry and has nothing to do with metal detecting, so I kind of know how that works, but we don't I don't think there's a real number or ratio that we put on it. If we feel that the property is going to produce and is worth the time and the money for people to come out there, make the trip and go and do this, then we're going to spend what we need to spend to get folks on it. And like I said, like you guys said, it's just been, these places don't come up very often. They're so few and far between. And even if you do get the property, you can't be 100%. It's good. So that's why we do these test digs to kind of get an idea of what's out there. That being said, if somebody wanted $100,000 and that's what the entire hunt would be if everybody paid the same amount, then obviously we can't get that done. We wouldn't have enough to put the rest of the stuff on. But for the most part, in a reasonable amount, we do, let's just say our farmers don't go wanting. For a couple of days that we do our event out there, we clean it. We go out there, we set up, we clean up, we do all of the legwork. Literally, all they do is allow us on there for the couple of days that we do the events. So they make out very well. I can just say that they do very well for the weekend, and we appreciate what they do. And a lot of times if something isn't quite where we want it to be, we just say, hey, Farmer Joe, can you plow that field before the guys get here? Oh yeah. You know, most times they're pretty amenable to what we ask them to once we've paid them. So
Paying them. That's
I think we've got to invest in a group, in a tractor and a plow, and just offer.
you know how many places I've been to where I'm like, man, I'll give you $500 to plow this up right now.
Right?
Just all chip in $50 and see what happens.
or the place where you're just like, give me a lawnmower real fast. Let me hit
Right? Yeah.
Listen, I know that little lawn on the side there's holding a lot, but that grass is really putting a damper.
You want to do one of those like Husqvarna commercials where they start with the crazy lawn and just have all the tools, get it back, and then just dig it all up either way.
Yep.
Lawn and dig it all up. Oh man.
That's just more equipment for me to leave at the hunt.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We had a couple of people leave things there. I think we had a pinpointer that I found 2 years later. Like no, 2 years later. I found it last year in the spring, and then I found a shovel up against a tree like a couple months after that. So you just walk in the property and I'm like, oh my God. It's like there were so many. I'll be honest with you, I was very surprised. I mean, we had 800 people on this field over 2 days, and you would be surprised how little garbage there was. I got to give props to people who picked up, you know, we had plenty of trash cans and stuff, and people actually used them. It wasn't just floating all over the place. But man, I got to give them props, because when we were done, the farmer goes, doesn't even look like you guys were here. He's like, I really can't tell a difference, you know. He's like, because garbage does blow off the road and stuff into the fields. He's like, but I don't see any, you know, major crazy difference. He's from when I've got it's here all year, or you guys have been here for a weekend. He's like, you guys did a great job. So, and that's kind of what we're hoping to do too, is we just want to make sure that we do well by these guys. So we have a list of references, then we can go and say, listen, we brought, you know, $500,000 into this city during the weekend. You know, would you be interested in holding an event? So we work with local travel agencies. We work with like the chambers of commerce, you know, to try and get this, you know, this information out there too. So like where I live, there's a really good chamber of commerce, and we work with the tri-state area. So we do like New York, Vermont, and like New Hampshire. We like really draw a lot of people in. I was getting interview requests from newspapers in New Hampshire. So, you know, that we're going to put an article in the paper, or send somebody out to the event, you know, to get a story. So, you know, doing stuff like that really helps your cause, you know, gets your name out there, get some good press on you. So, you know, that's a little part that nobody sees either. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. Just having a little bit of press like that definitely helps out, you know, especially with our hobby, because not a lot of people know exactly what it is, you know. Like you always get the weird eye for people who've never heard about it, but you know, they hear the good stories about cleaning up the place and finding history. I mean, it only does good things for us.
See, we have a good relationship with a couple of historical societies and stuff too. Our county one came in, and you know, even if they couldn't keep any of their relics, obviously we told folks, listen, you want to keep all your relics, no problem. Obviously, this is you paid for the hunt, keep them. But if you want to donate something, put your name on it, you know, it goes to the museum, great. All we asked was if you found something, we had the historical society set up, and they had a map with all the fields on it. They were all numbered. You came up, you showed them what they found. They took a picture of it, they wrote a description, and you picked what field you found it in. So then now we have a record of where all of these finds were concentrated, in which fields they were found. So, cool. And that's something that we can kind of hold on to, and you know, so it'll never, even though the relics are gone, which, you know, I would say that unless something extremely historically significant happened there, most of the stuff that's going home with people are coins and tokens and, you know, whatnot. You know, unless there was a battle there, you're really not going to go away with, you know, cannonballs and pieces of cannon. You know, it's just not something you're going to come away with. But working with those organizations really helps you out, because they know a lot of stuff. They know a lot of people. They really help out a lot for sure.
Yeah, people in the chat are talking about logistically how hard it would be to set up an event that big. You know, I'm sure it's a pain in the
Like the
butt.
undertaking.
It's not easy. And listen, after the first one, we definitely knew our downfalls, and we definitely knew, what we had to do to improve it. Some of them were super simple things we could do, and then other ones were like, oh crap, logistically, this is going to be, we're going to have to really think about how to work this out.
Right.
I've been to rallies in England, and it's completely different than what we put on here. It's very much, we have a lot here in the United States. I would say we have a lot of detectors who are our age, and then there's a lot of detectors who are way older than us. So some folks can't walk 3/4 of a mile, or 3 miles out, or whatever it may be. So like one of the things we were doing is we're going to have a shuttle, kind of a continuous shuttle that goes around.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So then where our event site is to where the farthest fields, if we don't want 700 cars parked on the side of the road, that's a better option. And that'll go around. I think we've got it planned to go around like every half hour or so. It's going to make the trip around.
Eric put that would be Jerry.
The one guy I know that goes to a site, drives a half an hour, leaves in a half an hour.
Like, I'm done. My legs are killing me.
Well, that's what I mean. So that's why we're doing stuff for like that for like you, Jerry. So if you, it's for anybody. If you want to jump on the trolley instead of walking across the fields, it's gonna give you a little bit, gonna give you a little bit of a break on your legs for sure. It's a lot of walking. I will say this. I've been from one end to the other of those places, and some days I don't have any particular spot in the field I'm going. I'm very much a wanderer when it comes to metal detecting. If I don't have a map showing anything there, I'm like, well, there might be something there. I don't know. Just got to give it a shot. So you just start walking, and I meander. I just meander. My buddy calls me the Neanderthal. He's like, dude, you just lugging that detector around, just going wherever. Yeah, and that's how I do it. So, but I mean, I'll be honest with you, some of the best stuff I've ever found has come that way. So, you got to do it. But yeah, I think it's we've made a lot of improvements on the idea of the hunt. So, I think people are going to be really happy with what the changes we made. We're going to try and put porta potties kind of out in the middle of nowhere. On some of those far places too, so it'll you don't have to come all the way back to
Make sure you thoroughly detect underneath first. You don't want to put
right. Yeah. We had a couple of guys when we were setting up last year. A couple of guys that were working on the hunt with us. Wait. Let's go out and detect the property before we set anything up.
Right. You just want to make sure you're not hiding that.
Too much stuff to do this. Let's just get this thing set up. I was like, it's gonna take so much time. We seeded the day before or the night before the event. Oh my God, I just know it was crazy, and we can't do that. So we've got a couple of different plans in place to hopefully alleviate some of that. But we hope this. I mean, what do you guys think of about that different seated idea? Do you like that idea? Do you guys think it's a
Yeah, it gives you a couple chances. I like the split up for the next day where you kind of reseed it with more and different finds. Gives you two different opportunities to find more stuff, and who doesn't like to do that?
And longer opportunities. I mean,
yeah, I was more like, I told them my opinion on that. The one problem I had, the con I had on it was somebody going there for the whole weekend just for a seated hunt. You know what I mean? Not natural hunt.
Yeah. So that's why we're only going to do a couple hours on the first day. And honestly, so we're thinking right now how we're going to split it up. So what we're going to do is some of the really big prizes we'll probably reserve, those tokens to plant those Saturday night. So then on Sunday, when more people are going to be out there kind of digging around, those big prizes will be found that day. Now, I'm not saying there won't be some awesome things to be found on Saturday, but on Sunday, because we want more people kind of gathering in. And I think we had a 30-acre field, and everybody was like right on top of each other. Right. And I'm like, I guess with 800 people, when you look at it, and you're looking around, you're like, oh my God, this is more than enough space. But no, when everybody's right on top of each other, everybody's detectors chattering with each other, it's crazy. And we had so many people come up, and they're like, I couldn't even hear anything because all I heard was I know everybody's heard that sound before, so
Oh
don't.
yeah, no,
And
exactly.
I'm sure all your guests are going to enjoy rewinding that to hear me do that. But anyways, I know what it's like. I've been to these things. I know how it is. So, we're just making it a bigger space and spreading it out over a longer period of time. So that way, like you said, if you're not digging anything in the seeded hunt or in the natural hunt, you're just bummed out or whatever, you can always come in and dig something in there. And like I said, hopefully this stuff is going to be more spread out. Not everybody will be on top of each other. That's our hope, but we can't, we think that'll give everybody the best chance of getting something. You know what I mean? Because some folks went into the seeded hunt last year and got nothing. And then some came out with handfuls of stuff. And I don't know, I think that was maybe a product of just how our people were dropping it or what, but definitely some places had more stuff in it than others.
Yeah, yeah. Do you plan on doing a like a best find or anything along those lines?
So last year we had a club in New York State called, oddly enough, my group is, I'm Adirondack Detecting. That's me. That's just my personal, that's what I call myself. But there's another club called Adirondacks Mountain Metal Detecting, and it's run by a guy named Flint Stone, and he's in central New York or like near Albany area. He came up last year and he gave prizes for like a bunch of different things. Now, we didn't officially sanction that, but he was awesome to do that. We were very happy to have him. And basically, he sat at the historical center's table, and every time somebody came up with thing, he would kind of record down what they found, and then he did like a prize for like oldest coin and best military relic. He had different categories, and he probably gave away $300 to $500 worth of cool prizes, just to get people kind of excited about it. But he did that all on his own, and we were really happy to have him. And he said he wants to come up and do that for either the small hunt or the big hunt again this year. So we're always looking for new things to try that kind of gets people excited about stuff. But we're gonna have I think there's going to be plenty of stuff for people to do and see, especially at the big event. Our small event, we're just going to have two manufacturers there. XP is going to be there, and Nocta Macro is going to be there. And I know XP said they're bringing a bunch of stuff to give away, and they're probably just going to be roving around, just walking around outside with everybody, giving stuff away. And then XP always brings a house. Those guys are awesome. DLEC is great. She always brings all kinds of stuff. They get a lot of great reps that will be there as well. And then we have on our spring hunt, we've got part of your ticket is a Southern barbecue lunch on Sunday, man. And I can tell you, I've had their barbecue before, and it's quite good. So part of your ticket, that free barbecue lunch on Sunday. So
Don't twist my arm.
Yeah, I won't say no to that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, last year at a bigger event, and then this year too at Digstock in the fall 2021, we're gonna have a beer vendor, 3 food vendors, all kinds of Andy, his guy, he's gonna be there with a bunch of his stuff, and then we got a bunch of other vendors that are coming too. Anderson Shafts will be there. I'm trying to think of some other groups. We got a veterans only digging group that's coming, and they'll be there like signing up new people for their Facebook page and stuff. Super cool guys. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on, and I can tell you this: we got some really crazy ideas for the future. So just kind of stay tuned.
Only gonna get better and better, I guess, huh?
Right.
Let's hope, man. We think we got a winning formula. Once we get it off the ground and people see what we can do, we really think folks are going to enjoy what we do, and hopefully we put on a good enough event that folks come back. I mean, you guys, anybody's welcome to check out our Facebook page, Digstock Events. Just type it in, you'll find it. We put up all of our information up there. And we also have our website, obviously, and you can check that out as well. So
awesome. Thank you, Nancy, for putting it in the chat. We're almost at an hour. You guys, Eric, Jerry, Joe, Mike, you got anything else for Pete?
No, man, listen, I'm excited. I obviously was bummed when we had to pivot, but you know what? Even more to look forward to next year. And honestly, I think what you guys have cooking up is, the perfect spirit of what these events should be, and I think if you guys keep running with that, I think people will keep flocking to it. And listen, keep finding permissions for me, and I'll keep paying you, man. That's all I got.
Sure, Zach, hope so. We just sold a ticket as we speak. I was just looking at that. We
Go.
like
All right.
talking to folks because this is, every time I do one of these things, we get more and more tickets. But I don't really care. For me, it's just I like getting, everybody's group or podcast or whatever talk. Everybody has a little bit different audience.
Mhm.
So it's kind of nice to kind of go between everybody and kind of throw out what you're talking about to every different group of people. So it's good. I'm glad you guys had me on. I watch you guys' videos. Andy, like I said, he's going to be part of our events. So going forward, so we're pretty excited. Things are looking pretty awesome for 2021. Let's hope everything else works out and we're good to go. But you got to wear a mask. That's what you got to do. But if you don't, listen, you're going to be out there digging, have at it. Just go. Just get out there and dig. Social distance in the fields, whatever you want to do.
Well, we're excited. I hope to get to see the entire chat at one of the digs. That would be super fun. I know a lot of these people are planning on going, so I can't wait. And Pete, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We're stoked for the event, so we'll get up there and find some of that stuff for you. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good night,